Getting to Grandmasters on Peni involves one thing and one thing only: mines.
It's spider time!
In this video, I'm going to teach you how to play Peni like a Grandmaster. We're going to start by going over her kit, and then I'm going to show you how to get the most out of each one of her moves. Peni is a mid-range tank that specializes in building space for their team by protecting them from flankers. She can set up traps that kill unsuspecting enemies. If your mines are able to pick off one squishy or even a tank, then your numbers advantage will win most team fights. Starting off, Peni has a base health of 650, putting her in line with most of the other tanks like Doctor Strange and Magneto. However, her inability to create a frontal shield and block projectiles makes her more of like a mid-range tank that excels when positioned close to the healers. Her base movement speed is only 6, but she has multiple tools for mobility, so she should be okay. Her first and most important move, the Arachno Mine. Each does 100 damage within a 3-meter radius. She holds up to 4 charges at once, and it takes 4 seconds to regain a charge. I'll go into finer details about how to use the mines later in the video. Next up is her Bionic Spider Nest. This destructible nest creates a web within a 12-meter radius around it. While inside the web, Peni gains an extra 25% movement speed and 50 healing per second, which turns it into an overshield when she's at max life, and this caps out at 150 extra HP. This is insane. Always try to fight within your web. The extra healing is crazy. It's almost like having a full other healer on you. It also pops out 2 spider drones every 3 seconds. Each spider drone does 40 damage, and there can be a maximum of 10 spider drones at a time. If an enemy walks into your webs, or if you extend the distance of your webs with your other moves, then the spider drones can do a ton of damage to anyone who ignores it and walks inside. Also, while on the web, Peni's Arachno Mines can't be seen or destroyed by the enemy team. For mobility, Peni has the ability Cyber Bond. She creates a web at the targeted area and pulls herself towards it. This move has a very long max range of 30 meters, and the web that it creates works just like the one produced from the nest, so it also gives 50 healing per second and the movement speed bonus. This move is great for escaping or getting to the point quickly, and it only has a 3-second cooldown, so you could use it all the time. Of course, you could also do this fun bouncy move. It's rarely useful in combat. Kinda helps dodge a Wolverine here and there or an Iron Fist, but realistically it's just fun to use in the pre-game spawn room. Her next move is a projectile that she shoots with her right click. When it hits an enemy, they're stunned for 0.7 seconds. It doesn't seem like that long, but with only a 3-second cooldown, Peni can be spamming this during a fight and get a bunch of small bursts of CC, and this can even interrupt most ultimates. Like the rest of Peni's webs, when you stand in the web created by her right click, it gives her a 50 healing per second and a boost to her movement speed. Here I am testing if the healing from her nest and her webs can stack. They do not, and she still has 50 healing per second even when standing on both webs. Peni's ultimate Spider Sweeper lasts 12 seconds and provides an almost instant 450 bonus health while increasing her speed by 70%. This huge burst of mobility and survivability can be a game changer and easily turn around most team fights. During her ultimate, Peni is able to shoot out up to 7 Arachno Mines, each doing 100 damage. These can be destroyed, so try to aim them either into your webs or walk over them because she spreads her spider webs underneath her similar to the spider nest, and she also produces 1 spider drone every 0.7 seconds, so that's really quick. This allows Peni to make mine traps while ulting and just running through the enemy team. Additionally, Peni is able to knock off nearby enemies with her left click, which attacks in a large arc in front of her for 60 damage. As you can see, it's quite generous with the aim, although in-game you may sometimes feel like it should be hitting and it's not. Finally, if you want to get the most out of Peni's ultimate, you must make sure that your trail of webs is connected to your spider nest. The spider drones released from the nest combined with the ones released from your ultimate shred any squishy who decides to walk onto your web. Peni can also wall run. You use it to escape or to sneak around the enemy team to place more mine traps. As for her team up, it rarely comes up, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it is really nice for knocking away pesky melee characters if your nest has already been destroyed.
This is gonna hurt.
To climb ranks as Peni, it comes down to one thing: getting picks with her mines and winning team fights with a number advantage. Here's how they work. Firstly, mines cannot be destroyed or seen by the enemy team when they are in any web. This means, if you don't have any webs already there, don't place the mines, as they're just going to be destroyed by the enemy. When you shoot out your mines, they tend to land slightly below where you're aiming, with a shot directly forward landing about 15 to 20 meters ahead of her. As you play more Peni, you'll get the feel for where to aim when placing your mines, and you'll be able to place some mines at quite a distance. This allows you to quickly remake your mine traps after a fight or even during a fight if you're able to snipe them to a far enough away web. Peni can only have up to 15 mines active at one time. After her 15th, every additional mine deletes the first mine placed and onwards. Arachno mines only last 1 minute before they self-destruct, so make sure to replace any mine traps that time out. Having your Arachno mine in a web does nothing to extend the time limit. That said, your mine should always be inside of a web, so just keep in mind that it's only 1 minute until they despawn. This mainly comes up when you're on defense and you've had time to set up multiple mine trap locations. Just make sure that you go back and throw a couple mines down to reset them every so often. Both your right click and your F produce a web where they're aimed. You can only have a maximum of 3 active webs at a time, shown here at the bottom left hand corner of your screen. Once you've used up all 3, the next web you produce erases the first one created, and so forth and so forth. Because each mine does 100 damage, 3 mines on top of each other can instantly kill most squishies. Because of this, you pretty much never want to have any less than 3 mines in a spot at one time. Placing 1 or 2 mines and then them blowing up while you're holding your cooldown for your third is really just a waste. Never less than 3 is like a fundamental rule. Here you can see it takes up to 9 mines to kill a high HP tank. That's why focusing on getting the smaller picks in the back make your mine damage much less likely to just get healed away.
Here comes trouble!
Peni shines when defending, and it's always best to defend first since you could completely shut down an enemy team, which frankly leads to them turning against each other and throwing when it's your turn to attack. While climbing the GM, I had this team in Diamond surrender because I was able to completely shut them out of point while defending with some really well placed Peni nests and mine traps. They gave up without even putting up a fight on defense. I can only imagine what their chat and in-game comms were like. If you want to harness the enemy team's salt, here's how you should be thinking. When the match starts, you want to rush the point. Every couple seconds wasted is another mine you don't get to place. Before dropping your nest, you want to first place your mine so that your cooldown begins recharging. I then set up 1 to 2 mine traps connected to my spider nest and make sure to cover them with my web. If you want to know the best nest location for each map, let me know in the comments down below and I can make a separate video just for that. But for now, I'd recommend just checking out where enemy Penis have their nests that are frustrating you when you're trying to reach them. During the actual fight, I stand near my healers and blind fire in the direction of the enemy. It's really fine if you miss half these shots, as your real purpose is stopping the enemy advance or flank with your nest and mine traps. I should probably be dropping mines a little bit sooner in this fight. I could at least place them on my webs here and help build some space for my team. As soon as it looks like the team fight's been won, I take advantage of the chance and I go right to the back line and I make a new mine trap before returning back to my original position. Between fights, you want to set up new mine traps in locations the enemy squishies might not expect. Oftentimes, if the enemy team gets more desperate, they'll stop paying as much attention to where they're walking, which could lead them to walking into more and more traps. Like, for instance here, even with my bad aim, my mine trap just completely shut down any momentum they could have gotten from that ult. There's 2 times when you want to use your ult. Either when you need to survive and build space for your team during a hectic team fight, or if you want to chase down and peel the enemy healers right near the end of their ultimates. In this clip, I used it to survive the initial push from Cloak and Dagger's ult, and then right when I was about to finish and I had been healed up by my own teammates, I pushed into their back line and forced their Luna to ult in response. Sometimes you may have pesky teammates saying things like, "Help, Iron Fist is killing the healers," or "Protect the backline from Black Panther." This is when you tell them to just play around your perfectly placed spider nest, then maybe toss a few mines down in the back line before considering that a job well done.
You know what to do, spiders?
Although not as dominant as when she's on defense, Peni can still be quite effective on attack. By protecting her team from dive attacks, she can help safely build momentum for your team until you're able to push onto the point, and once you get there, she ensures that you're able to capture it quite easily. Your first fight on offense should involve you setting your spider nest and some mines in a safe place to protect your back line while also healing you. Then you hope for a pick from one of your DPS or friendly healer ult to help push the fight forward, where once on the point you can reposition your spider nest and mines to help lock down the path the enemies are taking to attack your team. After that, you just want to do your best to support your team while staying close to your nest and your healers. Don't overextend, let your mines do the dirty work for you. Set as many mine traps as you can, and otherwise stay back near your nest. Here I was getting wrecked by Hawkeye, so I had to retreat, but since I stayed between Thor and my healer, I was able to get healed back up, and my team was able to come in and support.
We made quite a team.
Here's a similar example, but for when you're attacking a defensive position.
This is gonna hurt. Whoever they are, they don't look friendly.
Now that we have a little bit of momentum, I walk in with my team, immediately place down my spider nest, and start working on destroying theirs so we have a safe space to fight. Now that Penny's cleared out, I place a couple mines on the ground inside of my nest so that the enemy team can't destroy or see them. Because of that, their cloak ults, lands on my mines, and dies, and we easily capture the point. It can be useful to make a mine trap right on the point, as you never know when their divers, their tanks, or even a healer will try to get on the point themselves and just walk over your trap. Here we see why Peni is so good at shutting down space. The Punisher literally knows there are mines there, still can't push forward because of the nest, but yet when a team fight starts and he's not in position, his brain moves from, I gotta avoid these mines to, I gotta go and help my team, and we see how well that goes. This clip is a great example of what to do during a hectic teamfight situation. I do my best to play safe and survive until the enemy cloak and dagger ult is almost done. Then I ultimate and chase down the enemy team, building space for my own team to move forward onto the point, and I even end up catching one of their healers who has the nerve to walk onto my web and just dies. With the shift in momentum and the fact that the enemy team is now down a healer, the rest of my team can now push forward onto the point and easily take out the rest of the enemy players. It can be okay to chase down the enemy players and kill them if you've won a fight, but realistically, you should almost always just focus on pushing the point and making sure that your backline is secure. Finally, just spam your right click. It comes back every 3 seconds. It's an annoying little stun. Just spam it. If you miss, that's okay. Just keep shooting it. Additionally, if you know an ult is coming up from someone like Strange, Penny, etc., you can save your snare and interrupt it. You may even pull off some crazy, definitely on purpose, wasn't a luck shot like I did here.
The web of life and destiny is fragile. Someone has to protect it.
So to summarize, step 1, play Penny. Step 2, mine traps. And step 3, you're now ranked GM. But seriously, the main points to take away from the video are minimum 3 mines per trap, always be setting traps, stick with your healers, if you keep them safe, they keep you safe, and use your ultimate to make space for your team and chase down enemy healers. And finally, set more traps. That's it. See you at Grandmasters.
It's
Subscription.
time!
Thank you all so much for watching. If you made it to this point, I would really appreciate it if you liked the video. Also, comment your main down below and how far you made it in Season 0. Season 1 is about to start, and none of the patch notes affect Peni. So this should take you all the way to Grandmasters in Season 1 as well. Good luck out there.
Step out the steps and we're all running for the flex. Pete told me I was next. I'm coming for next, it really isn't no question. Only superheroes in the section, only big bangers on the set list. On top of buildings where I eat breakfast, then I shine like a new